Good morning all. Today we are going to be discussing about chapter 2 of our module 5, that is swings. So before knowing this concept of swings, you should have the basic knowledge of applets which we have discussed in the previous class. I hope the concepts of applets are clear. At least the basics of applets should be there in order to understand this module, that is swings. Now let us find out what is swings, how they are used, for what they are used, and so on. So Swing is a package that lets you to create applications that use a flashy graphical user interface instead of a dull console interface. This first line gives you a clear picture of what is a swing and for what is swings used. So it is written here very clearly, swings lets you to create a graphical user interface which is flashy. You will be able to insert many things into your graphical user interface. When I say many things, I mean it can be buttons, it can be text fields, it can be a select drop down menu, and so on. So swings is basically used to create applications that use a flashy graphical interfaces. Okay. Next, the Swing API provides many different classes for creating various types of interface elements. So in order to design this graphical user interface, we need different classes. So all these classes are present inside our Swing API. In the upcoming slides, we are going to learn about what are those classes, how to use those classes in order to create our graphical user interface. Next, we will study more about swings, how they originated. So AWT is Java's original set of classes for building the GUI. So basically we were using the abstract window toolkit for the Java's original set of classes for building the GUI. This was basically used. But once swings came into existence, swings solved some of the problems that were there in AWT. What were the problems in AWT? Uses peer components of the OS. So it was using the components of OS and it was heavyweight. That means the processing was very slow. It was heavy. Not truly portable. It was not portable. Now all these problems of the GUI which was built using AWT was solved using swings. How was it solved using swings? Swings is written completely using Java, hence making it portable. It is 99% Java, that's what we say. It is written in Java language, hence we can say it is portable. Why? Because Java, the language Java, is platform independent. Now it is lightweight components. Drawing of components is done in Java using 4 of AWT's components, that is window, a frame, a dialog. So it is completely based on the programming language Java, which completely changes the picture when you compare it with AWT. The GUI which is built here is portable, it is lightweight, and it is you can plug and play. That means wherever you want, you can run your just GUI applications. So it is platform independent. Next, we are going to study more about swings. Swing is a set of classes. As I told you, it is used to create an application, right? For that, it is a set of classes. It is having a set of classes that provides more powerful and flexible components than that were possible in AWT. So compared to AWT, this swings is more powerful and it is having flexible components. Means more classes and functions are present here in swings. Unlike AWT components, swing components are not implemented by platform specific code. So swing components are platform independent because they are 99% Java. Instead, they are written entirely in Java. They are platform independent. Okay. The swing related classes, these two are the packages that we are going to use. The swing related classes are contained inside javax.swing. So still now you are just using import java.io.star or random.star like this. Now for using the swing related classes, you have to use the package javax.swing. And inside this package, there is another sub package, that is javax.swing.tree. So these are the two packages. You can just write javax.swing.star. So it will include all the sub packages also. Next, we are going to study about two key swing features. So there are two main features of swing which is making it more flexible compared to AWT. What are the two swing features? The first one is Swing components are lightweight. So we are going to study about what is the meaning of this lightweight. The next feature is Java supports a pluggable look and feel. So what is this pluggable look and feel? We are going to study in detail. What is the meaning of this? Swing components are lightweight. This means that they are written entirely in Java and do not map directly to the platform specific piece. So it completely means that it is platform independent. No matter what platform is there in the peer system, it can be executed there. That is the meaning of lightweight. Now, because lightweight components are rendered using graphic primitives, they can be transparent, which enables non-rectangular shapes. Thus, lightweight components are efficient and flexible. So because they are lightweight components, the graphic icons that you are using are more transparent. They are more flexible, easy to manipulate. Hence, you can say that the swing components are lightweight and more flexible. Furthermore, lightweight components do not translate into native pairs. The look and feel of each component is determined by Swing and not by the underlying operating system. We saw that the GUI developed using AWT was dependent on the operating system. Here it is not depending upon the operating system. No matter what is the platform in the peer system, it is not going to change according to that. It is platform independent. It is going to be run the way it is designed. So that is what is written in the last point. You can read this point. This means that each component will work in a consistent manner across the platform. It is not going to change across the platform. According to the OS, it is not going to change. According to the platform, it is not going to change. It is going to behave consistent manner across all platforms. So that is the meaning of Swing components are lightweight. They are not depending upon the peer systems. They are independent. The next feature of Swing supports a pluggable look and feel. What is the meaning of this word? Pluggable look and feel. It is short formed as PLAF, pluggable look and feel. Because each Swing component is rendered by Java code rather than native peers, the look and feel of the component is under the control of the Swings. So because it is written by the Java code and their platform independent, they are not dependent upon the peer systems. They are controlled by the Swings itself. This fact means that it is possible to separate the look and feel of a component from the logic of the component. So we are going to separate the peer system and your Swing applications. It is not going to be dependent. So that is the meaning of pluggable look and feel. So it will support the look and feel of the Swings itself. It is not going to change according to the underlying operating system. So you can see this point here. To use a specific style, its look and feel is simply plugged in. So if you want to use a specific icon, you can just take the base code and the icon is going to behave in its own way. It is not going to depend upon your operating system. Once this is done, all the components are automatically rendered using that style. So whatever is the original style, it is going to behave in the same manner. So the two Swing key features are, first one is Swing components are lightweight. The second one is Swing supports a pluggable look and feel. So these are the two key Swing features. Next, we can see the meaning of two words. One is Swing components and Swing container. So these two are very important because our program is going to be based on what is a component, what is a container. Inside a container, what are the components you are going to add. So Swing components and container objects. In Java, a component is a basic user interface object and it is found in all Java application. Component includes list, buttons, panels and windows. So in the previous concepts when we were discussing, I told you this whole window screen is a container. Whatever you add into this window screen, it might be a tab, it might be a button, it might be a text box. All those things are components. Okay, so that's what we have written here. Components are including the list. It might be a buttons, it might be a text box, it might be a panel and so on. To use these components, you need to place them in a container. So first you need to create a container into which you're going to add all these components. A container is a component. Again, container is a component that holds and manages other components. So basically container is also a component. Into this container, we are going to add some more components that it is going to manage. The containers display components using a layout manager. We are going to create a layout into which we are going to add the components. So this container will display that layout. Now Swing components inherit from Java x.swing.j component class. So there is a class called as Java x.swing.j component class from which all our components are being derived. I hope you understood the meaning of components. It can be a list, it can be a button, a panel, a window, or a text box, and so on. So first we have to create a container. Inside the container, we are going to add all these components. The container is going to manage all the components that you are going to add. And container itself is a component. It is first basically a component. Now we are going to see what are the different classes for Swing components. Please understand, this is only for a Swing component, not a Swing container. So you can just go through all the classes that are available. So if you want to create let's say a radio button. I hope you understood what is a radio button. So if you want to create a radio button, you need to use the class and the functions present inside a class called as JRadioButton. If you want to create a list, then you have to use the functions and the classes functions present inside the class called as JList. So these are the different classes for creating the Swing components. The classes which we frequently use is JFrame, JDialog, JList. This we will be using it frequently in our programs. Okay, so these are the different classes for Swing components. Now, next we will see how to create a container and how to add the components into this container. Once you have created a root container, that is a main container into which you're going to add the components. So once you have created a root container, you can add components and other containers into it. So into a main container, the main container will be called as root container. You can add your components or you can add your sub-containers also. Now each top level container consists of the following panes. So there are some panes which we are going to study. The main container, that is a root container, will be containing all these panes. The first one is layered pane. The layered pane consists the content pane and the optional menu bar. So it can also contain other components which it arranges so that they overlap each other. This enables you to add pop-up menus to applications. So this layered pane, it is going to contain the content pane, the where you are going to add your contents, and it also can contain an optional menu bar. So it is one layered pane into which you are going to add your content. If you want to add any contents, you can add. If you want to add any pop-up menus, you can add. Now, what is this content pane? They have given here, right? The content pane holds all the visible components of the root pane. So whichever is the visible components, it can be any a frame or a window, whatever should be visible to the user, it will be present inside your content pane. So the content pane holds all the visible components of the root pane except the menu bar. So all the other visible components, whatever has to be visible to the user, it will be present in the content pane other than the menu bar. So it covers the visible section for JFrame or JWindow, whichever is the visible section to the user, it will be there in the content pane. Next is the glass pane. The glass pane is invisible by default, but you can make it visible. When it is visible, it covers the components of the content pane, blocks all the input events from reading this components. So glass pane is basically used for invisible components which you don't want it to be visible to the users, but you can make it visible. You can make even the glass pane also visible, but when it is visible, it covers the components of the content pane. It blocks all the input events from reading those components. It will block the input activities into your container. That is nothing but your glass pane. So understand that first there will be a root container Into the root container, you can add several components, and you can also add some subcontainers into the root container. Now this root container consists of three panes, three layers also. You can understand as three layers also. The first one is layered pane. In layered pane, it is going to have two things, the content pane and the menu bar. So this content pane will contain all the visible components, whichever has to be visible to the user. If you don't want it to be visible, you can put it inside the glass pane. Even the components present in the glass pane can be made visible to the user if you want, but it will block all the input events from reading the components. This is the concept of component and a container. The next, you can see the different packages that we are going to use. You can, in your programs, whenever you're writing a Swing program, you can just write import java x.swing.star. It is sufficient. It is going to include all these sub packages, but for your information, you can go through all the sub packages that are available. Java x.event, Java x.platform.basic, Java x.swing.border, Java x.swing.file chooser, and so on. So these are all these sub packages present inside the main package, that is Java x.swing. When you're writing the program, you can just write import Java x.swing.star. Now here is a simple Swing application. Now when you see this simple Swing application, you will be able to better understand what is the meaning of a component, what is the meaning of a container. Okay, we will start with the first line, which is the package import java x.swing.star. This is the package. So I have included star. It will include all the sub packages. Class swing demo. We are writing a class inside which, what is this? I hope you are able to identify that it is a constructor. So inside this class, you are having a constructor. So whenever you're creating an object for this class, automatically this constructor will be called. Inside this constructor, whatever will be there, that will be automatically executed. So what is the first step in Swing application? You should create a container. The container must be visible to the user. So you can see here, JFrame was it is one of the components. So I told you that container itself is a component. So JFrame is the component that we are using. So JFrame is the class. For this class called as JFrame, I have created an object. What is the name of the object? JFRM. Now is equal to new JFrame, a simple Swing application. So you're creating an object and you are passing the parameter, that is a simple Swing application. Next, this is the container that you have created, that is the JFrame container. Now give the frame an initial size. You have to set the size of the container, whatever you have created. Please understand this. This is the root container you are creating. You have not added any components into your container. We have just created a container. Now I'm going to set the size of the container. So you can see here JFRM. What is this? This is the object you have created for JFrame container. Dot set size. Set size is a function that is used to set the size of the container. So in height and width, the pixels are mentioned, that is 275 and 100 in the measures of height and width. Next, terminate the program when the user closes the application. So when the user is going to close the application, you should close your container also. For that, I have to write the function using the same object. So you can see here, JFrame dot set default close operation. JFrame dot exit on close. So this, using this object, I'm calling the function. What is the function? Set default close operation. When the user exits the program, even your container should be closed. So JFrame dot, this is a integer. It is a constant that we are using. Whenever this constant is being used, when the user is going to exit the application, the container also will be closed. Exit on close. Next, create a text based label. Please understand now, This label is another component. We are going to create a label. I hope you understood what is the meaning of a label. When you execute this program and see the output, this components will become much clear. I've created a new label, JLabel. That was the class that was present here. You can see JLabel here. For this JLabel, I'm creating an object called as JLab, and I'm naming the JLabel as swing means powerful GUI. So there will be a small label displayed, and the name of on top of the label, the name that will be displayed is swing means powerful GUI. Next, once the label is created, you should add this label to the content pane. Now you have to understand what is this content pane. That means in the container, whichever part has to be visible to the user, you have to add this to the content pane. What is the name of the container that you have created? JFRM, right? Now JFRM dot add. So JFRM is for your container. Dot add is the function used to add the components into the container. Which component you want to add? You want to add a label. What is the name of the label you have written? JLab. So that I'm going to specify here. JFrame dot add JLab. So I'm adding the label into the container. So I've added the component into one container. Now I have to make this container visible to the user. So this is compulsory, you have to write, or else some components will not be visible to the user. JFrame dot set visible of true. So if you need not make JLab dot set visible of true, because JLab is already added into the JFrame. Only if you make JFrame visible, it is enough. So JFrame dot set visible of true. So now it will be visible to the user. All these statements are present where? Inside the constructor. So now if I'm going to create an object for this class, all these will be automatically executed. Now come to your main function. Inside the main function, swing utilities dot invoke later new runnable. I have just created swing utilities invoke later function, inside which I have written public void run and new swing demo. So here I have created an object swing demo. So you can see this, right? New swing demo. I've created an object. Now when you create an object, the control will be transferred here and all these statements will be executed. What were the statements? You created a container. You named the container as a simple swing application. You have set the size of the container. You have created a component. You have created a component and you have added it into the container and you have made it visible to the user, right? So this is a simple swing application. I hope you have understood the application program. Now moving on, after simple swing application, we are going to learn about more components. What is the component that we are going to learn about? JLabel and image icon. So the JLabel we have already used. When we wanted to display a label, we have used this JLabel component. Now we are going to study about image icon. If you want to display any image icon, it might be that you want to display an image on your container, or you want to display a URL. You want to display a link. That is also an image, right? So how do you do that? Using this image icon class. So in Swing, icons are encapsulated by image icon class. Inside this class, all the icons are present, which paints an icon from the image. So the image, if you want to transfer it into the container, you have to call this image icon class. Now this image icon class is having two constructors. The first constructor is string file name. That means the icon is present inside that file. Fetch the icon and display it on the container. So image icon string file name, the name of the image. Image icon URL. If you want to fetch the image from a particular URL, you can also specify the URL. The particular image will be fetched and displayed on your container. The next one is JLabel. The swing labels are instances of JLabel as we have used it in the previous example. We will just see that example once. Here, JLabel. What is the parameter you have passed to JLabel? It is a string, correct? No? So you can see that this JLabel is having three constructors, right? So it is having two constructors, I'm sorry. So it can display text and or an icon. So using JLabel, you can either display a label with some name or you can also display an icon. JLabel icon I. So if you want to display an icon, you can just specify it as a parameter, pass it into the function called as JLabel. That is a constructor for the JLabel class. Next, you can just write JLabel. So this is supposed to be JLabel and string S. You can pass the string whatever you want to display. We have seen here, right? JLabel. You have passed a string that needs to be displayed. Even that can be done. Next, you can also specify the alignment where your icon or label has to be present. Even for that, there is a constructor. JLabel, string S, icon I, int align. So you can see that S and I are text and icon parameters. Whereas this align, you have to either specify left, right, center, leading or trailing. So these are the integer constants that has to be specified in the place of align. So these are the three constructors for JLabel class. So quickly I will summarize what is a JLabel and image icon. If you want to specify an image on your container, you have to use an image icon. Inside the image icon, the constructor is accepting the parameters like file name or the URL. You can specify the file name where the icon is present, image icon is present, or you can specify the URL where the image is being present. Next one is JLabel. JLabel is also used to present a label on the screen. The label can be of three types. That means the three constructors are there. So three types of labels can be specified. One is you can just specify the icon, that is the image, or you can just specify the string on the label. Okay. Or you can also specify the string, the icon, as well as you can specify the alignment also. Alignment means whether the icon has to be present in the left or the right or at the center. Next is the icon and the text associated with the label can be read and written by the following methods. So you are displaying a label. On that label, there is a text or there might be an icon. Now you can edit that icon. Okay, once you have set the icon on that label, you can edit the text or the icon by using these methods. Can you see the methods? Get icon, set icon, get text, set text. So on that label, whatever is the icon you have displayed, or on that label, whatever is the text you have displayed, you can edit it by using these icons, these functions. Get icon, set icon. Set icon is used to edit, setting the icon. Specify the new icon here. Get text is used to retrieve the existing text. If you want to set text, you need to specify it in string S and set text. So these are used to edit your icons, edit your JLabel. Okay. Now next, there is a simple JLabel program. We will go through the program. Again, as I told you, for this program, we need the concepts of applets. Applets we already studied in the previous classes. What is an applet? What are the functions present inside an applet, and so on. We studied about init, start, run, all those things you should know. Now we will quickly go through the program. So a java.awt.star I have used because I am using my applets. For my swings, I have used the package, that is import javax.swing.star. Now applet code, whatever is the name of your class, you're going to specify here JLabel demo. The applet, that is the screen, will be of this parameter. Width will be 250 pixels. Height will be 150 pixels. Now in order to create an applet, you know that you have to extend a applet class. JApplet I have extended here. Public class JLabel demo, I have extended an applet class, it is JApplet. Inside which I have the first function that I'm going to have is my init function. Init is going to call the start and the run function also, right? So init, inside which you can see here, get the content pane. First I'm getting the content pane. Container content pane is equal to get content pane. I'm going to get the details present inside the content pane. Once I have got, let's say I want to create an icon. That's an image icon. What is the constructor for the image icon. So you can see here image icon, string file name, or the URL. So in this content pane, yeah, this is the content pane. This is the container I have created. The name of my container is content pane. Okay. Now into this container pane, first let me create an icon, then I will add it into the content pane. So image icon, double I. Can you see here I? This is the name of the object. New image icon. What is this France.gif? It is the name of the image. Okay, that will be now fetched and displayed on your content pane. Next, I have created a label. For creating a label, what is the name of your class? JLabel. Create an object for JLabel. Let's say JL is equal to new JLabel. See the three parameters I have specified. What is the three parameters? What is the first one? It is the string that has to be specified on my label. What is this II? It is the icon object. So this on this label, along with the text called as France, even this image also will be displayed. And the alignment of my label is in center. So you can see that JLabel.center. It will be present at the center of the content. Now add the label to the content pane. So I want to add this label. I need not add the image icon. Image icon is already present on my label. So you need to just add this JLabel to my content pane. What was the function? We have seen in the previous Swing application, add was the function. What is the name of your container? Content pane. So content pane dot add of JL. So it will be now displayed inside the content pane, that is inside the container. See how the execution will look. The output will look. Again, as I have told you, so sorry, this is how the output will look. Yeah. Now in this program, the output of the program, what all you are going to observe? Applet viewer JLabel demo. Where did you specify that? The name of your applet. What was the applet? JLabel demo. That is being displayed. The height and width of the applet screen is set here. Width is 250, height is 150. That is also being set. Next, after that, see this image. This image is the label. The name of the label is displayed here. Can you see here? France. So along, and it is also aligned at the center. So this is nothing but this whole thing is called as your container. Okay. And inside this container, you have added one component, that is the JLabel. The JLabel is also containing an image as well as a text, and it is aligned at the center. So this is nothing but a simple JLabel program. Okay. So when you execute, please execute this program. You will be able to get this output, and you will be able to better understand what is a component and what is a container. I hope by now the concept of a component and a container is clear. How to create a component first. So whichever component you want to create, it might be a radio button, it might be a checkbox, it might be a list. Just create an object for that component. And once you have created all the components, you have to add them into your container, or else it will not be visible in the container. So these points you have to remember. Next, we are going to be studying about text fields. Just like the JLabel component you have seen, the next component you are going to be studying about text fields. I hope you already know what's the meaning of a text field. Wherever you enter your name or your password, that is your text field. Now the Swing text field is encapsulated by JText component. So this is the name of the component if you want to create a text field, okay, which extends J component. Now this JText field allows you to edit one line of the text. So this JText field is allowing you to edit. You can write or you can edit only one line of the text, only one line. You can't write 2 or 3 lines, only one line of the text it is allowing you to edit. Now these are the different constructors that are present inside JText field. JText field without any parameters, default constructor. It is accepting a parameter called as COLS. What is the COLS stand for? Number of columns. Please understand there is only one line. But one line means it is only one row, but there can be different columns. It is just telling you how many characters are allowed in your text field. Next one is JText field string s int call. That is, S is the string that has to be present already in the text field. The name of the text field will be given by this parameter called as string S, and how many characters are allowed. That is, how many columns of text fields are allowed. Next, J text field string is only one text box is there, text field is there, and only one name is present on the text field. So that is also possible by using this constructor. So these are the different constructors for the component called as text field. So as I told you, whenever you want to create a component, just create an object for this component. That component will be present. Now you can also create this component, and what is the last step you have to do? You have to add it into the container. Only then it will be visible. Next, you can see different buttons. We have seen what is a label, how to create a label. We have seen how to create a text field in your container. Next, we are going to be seeing about swing buttons. So what are the different buttons that are present? If you want to just create a normal button, that is like a OK button or a cancel button, you can use this button icon. That means if you want a symbol to be present on that button, you can use this. If you want a text to be present on the button, you can use J button string str. Along with the text, you want also an image to be present on the button, you have to use this constructor called as J button string str icon. So these are three constructors present for your J button, a normal button. The next type of button is J toggle button. What is the meaning of toggle button? It can be either yes or no. So that's what I've written here. There it can be two states, push and release. If you say yes or no, it's a toggle button. Only two states are present. So J toggle button is the name of the component, name of the button. String str, what is the string name of the button that has to be present? Next, the other type of button is checkbox is another button. Checkbox is, you know, right, there will be a small square type box, and inside the square you will put a tick mark. That is called as a checkbox. So in J checkbox is the name of the component. You are going to supply the name of the button by using the string str. Next type of button is J radio button. J radio button means there will be a small circle inside which there will be a dot, solid dot. That is the J radio button, which can be specified. The name of the radio button can be specified using the constructor, and it can be passed to the parameter called as str. These are the different swing buttons that are available. So quickly summarizing, what are the swing buttons? J button for a normal button, J toggle button, J checkbox, and J radio button. So these are the different buttons that are available. Please remember, just go through all these buttons. Next, we are going to see a program to demonstrate the working of these buttons, how to create them. Please go through all these buttons once. Next, we can go for the program to see how these buttons and text fields are created. So you can see the packages that are being used. Import java.awt.star, it is for the applets. Import java.awt.event, it is for one of the events that is going to happen. I will show you which is that event. Import javax.swing.star, it is for the swing application we have used. Now, applet code, J button demo, the name of your applet, the width, height and width of your applet is specified. Next, because it's an applet application, you have to extend J applet, and for event, handling the event, I hope you remember the events, right? Keyboard event, a mouse press event, a button press event. So whenever the event occurs, you have to implement action listener class, event listener class you have to implement. So public class J button demo is extending J applet class, and it is implementing action listener to handle one of the events that is going to occur. Next, you can see what is the next line. This line, J text field JTF. I have created an object for the text field. So we will quickly go to that text field. Yes, so you can see here, right, there is a constructor, empty constructor. So when I have created an empty constructor, just a text field will be created. So that is the working of this first line, J text field. One text field will be created. Next, we will go with the program. Inside the init function, I have created the container. Container, the name of the container is content pan. The object I have created for the container is content pan. Okay. Next, content pane dot set layout New flow layout. I have set the layout of the content pane. Whatever is the dimensions you want to set, you can set it. Now I want to add the buttons to the content pane. So first, before adding the buttons to the content pane, you have to create the buttons, right? So whatever is the buttons or the components that you want to create, first let us create it. Now image icon, please understand image icon is also a component. The name of the image icon is France. That is the object I have created for my image icon is equal to new image icon. So there will be a new image icon present. The name of the image icon will be France. Some image will be present. Next, I have created a button. Can you see here? J button, JB is equal to new J button of France. Next to this image, there will be also a button. The name of the button will be France. JB, what is JB? This one. Dot set action command. That means when this button is being pressed, when you're going to press the button called as France, JB dot add action listener of this. So this action listener is going to be called. Which action listener? When a button is being pressed, the action listener is going to be called. Content pane dot add JB. So I have created a button, that is J button. I have written the action listener. The action, what is the action command? That is the France is the action command. When this action happens, action listener is being called. That is the button press event is happening and action listener is being called. And I have added that particular button to my content pane. Next, I have also created an image icon called as Germany. Same thing. And I have created another button called as Germany button. Next, whenever this Germany button is being pressed, there is an action listener that is being called. I've added the button into the content pane. I've created one more image icon called as Italy. There is another button, J button. The name of the J button is also Italy. For this also action listener is being specified, added to the content pane. In the same way, I have created one more button called as Japan. Fine. All the buttons are added to my content pane. Now, in the previous first line, I have created this text field called as JTF. I have not yet added into the content pane. I have to add it into the content pane. So here you can see adding the text field into the content pane. JTF is equal to new text field of 15. What is this 15? How many columns of text are allowed? Content pane dot add of JTF. I'm adding this particular text field into my content pane. Next, public void action performed. So whenever this action is happening, what is the action that has to be performed? That is specified here. JTF dot set text AE dot get action command. So whichever is the button you are going to press, according to that button, there is a text that will be displayed. JTF, what is this JTF? The text field. JTF dot set text. That means in the text field, whenever the button is being pressed, in the text field, there will be a text that is getting displayed. Okay, this is your program. We have created some 4 buttons and they have created a text field. So whenever the button is going to be pressed, some text is going to be displayed in your text field. So you can see how the output is being displayed here. When you execute the program, this is how the output is going to look. So you can see the buttons, image icons that I have created, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the text field I was talking about. So whenever you can see the arrow mark that is present here, whenever you're going to click on this particular button, the name of this button, whatever was the name of the button, will be displayed in your text field. Next, if you are going to click on this button, whatever is the name of this button, it will be displayed here. Similarly, the other buttons. This is the text field and this is your buttons. This is a simple program to demonstrate how buttons are being created, how images are being created, and how text fields are created. Like I told you, the program is very simple. If you want to create any component, it can be just create the component, add it into your content pane, that is into your container. Now, if you want to perform any action, then you have to specify the action here. You have to specify the action and you have to add the action listener. Whatever is the action listener, you need to add. Only then it will be performing that action. So when I'm going to click on this particular button, what is the action it is displaying? Displaying that message in the text field. That's what we have specified here, right? JTF.setText. What is the action that is performed? You're going to set the text with getAction command. So what is the action command here? Japan, right? So let us take, for example, the button called as Germany. Okay, what is the action command? Germany is the action command that is being set. Okay, now JTF, whenever this button is being pressed, this JTF.setText, right, it is going to set the text AE.getAction command. What was the action command? Germany. It will get that Germany and it will display in the text area. That's all. This is the program. It is even having action listeners, and it is also showing you how to create the buttons. These are the buttons and this is the text area. So whenever the button is being clicked, according to that button, whatever is the text that has to be displayed is displayed here. And this is the applet screen. Whatever is the applet size you want to specify, you have specified. I hope the concepts of applets is there in your mind. And this is all about swings. We have learned how to create a simple swing application. And you have also learned some of the components, how to create a component, how to add the component into the container. Thank you all.